This is music, and this is another batch of songs from the Pukebox. Welcome to another episode of a Watch Spinning series. Probably the Watch Spinning series that has the worst title ever, Songs from the Pukebox. The idea is not so much that I document everything that I've listened to. It's more a matter of me picking out and highlighting some things and ultimately recommending them to you guys. So in this episode, I'm going to show you a batch of CDs that I listened to in the first half of March. Now, I decided to go back and listen to some Genesis from the era when they had decidedly stopped being a prog rock band. So I gave the self-titled album a couple of spins. It's also known as the Mama album, because it has the song Mama on it, which in my opinion is a great, dark, almost creepy pop rock song. It also has Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea, kind of like a two-song suite or whatever that's called. And they're pretty good too. They tell a story about ghosts. I like Silver Rainbow. It's a fun song as well. This is not a bad album at all. I enjoy listening to this for sure. I also, while I was at it, decided to give Abacab a spin or two. This is the most obnoxious album Genesis ever made, but I still like it. What's obnoxious about it is that sort of the modus operandi here is that they sort of pick out some very simplistic figures and repeat them ad nauseum, basically. Just the title track, Abacab, is just sort of the same drum beat, the same couple of guitar figures, and the keyboard figure just being repeated, basically. But I still like it. It's a rock song that I think is enjoyable to listen to because of its simplicity. You have Keep It Dark is another example of a song where you have a very basic, almost annoying guitar figure being repeated. But it's still a pretty cool song. I kind of like that, the repetition. Then when they break from it, you go, ah, that's cool. Dodo Lurker is actually a pretty cool song, regardless of what you think of the rest of the album. Whodunit, that's the epitome of the obnoxiousness of this album. But I really like this album exactly because of the obnoxious nature of it. I don't know why, but I enjoy it. I also really like this one, We Can't Dance. It has No Son of Mine, a melancholic opening track. A fun song in the form of Jesus He Knows Me, which is a criticism of televangelism. You have, in my opinion, a genuine prog rock song in the form of Driving the Last Spike, a long song that tells the story of the people that built the British railroads. I mean, I think not the company, British Railway. I don't remember what it's called. But the actual roads themselves. I Can't Dance is a fun song. I like it. Dreaming While You Sleep is a dark song, but it's pretty good. So I actually quite like these albums, and also Invisible Touch. Now, if you hang out with a lot of prog heads, you sort of get the impression that everybody hates this era of Genesis, which isn't true. These were massive hits, and Invisible Touch was probably the biggest hit. So more people liked these than the prog rock albums. Personally, I like both the prog rock albums, both the Peter Gabriel era and the Phil Collins prog rock era, and also the pop rock Genesis era. I like all of it equally much. Harrow, Embrace the World. US power metal. I don't think they are an American band, but they have like a US power metal style. Slightly epic in places, slightly traditional metal in other places. I don't know, maybe there's even an element of prog power to it. It's a pretty good album. I enjoyed listening to it. If you like your your power metal, check it out. Hate Squad Psycho. This is very 90s. It's kind of like a mix of some thrash metal, some hardcore and industrial, but from the 90s era. So it does sound a bit dated, but there are some pretty cool songs on it. There are also some songs that, you know, I could take him or leave him, but there's like a stretch of songs that I think are actually pretty cool. And these are Mission Done, Psycho, Synthetic Twins, and Just a Dream. That sort of stretch of songs, it's pretty good in terms of the riffage and the way the songs are put together. But I gotta be honest, the rest of the album is perhaps a bit too 90s industrial inspired music for my taste. But maybe you like it. I do like that stretch of songs very much, though. Now this I like. Hobbs, Angel of Death. Hobbs, Satan's Crusade. This is kind of almost like a compilation. Great fast thrash metal songs. Just if you like thrash metal, I think you will like this. And this also goes for the self-titled Hobbs, Angel of Death. Absolutely great thrash metal, speed metal, thrash metal, great stuff. I really enjoy listening to this. And this one is an album I don't listen to that often, so I decided to give it a couple of spins. Spider's Lullaby by King Diamond. I think it's a very good King Diamond album. It has all the things you expect from King Diamond. It has the high pitched falsetto voice. It has the dramatic singing. It has the sometimes slightly weird instrumentation part of the songs and weird compositions, but also great riffage and great guitar work like by Andy LaRocque. So it's in my opinion like a very solid, enjoyable King Diamond album that maybe doesn't get as much love and attention as maybe it deserves. Some progressive metal, Vigilante, Age of Time, Japanese prog metal album by a Japanese prog metal band. Obviously they do sing in English. Not that I have a problem with bands singing in Japanese at all. I actually quite like it when you got bands singing in their native language, but they sing in English here. The style is maybe a slightly more accessible Fate's Warning. So maybe imagine perhaps somewhere in between the John Arch fronted era and the early Ray Alder fronted era, but less aggressive, less heavy, maybe with a bit of more of an infusion of maybe some Queensryche in it. It's actually very, very good. I really enjoy it. I mean, this is a progressive metal band that deserve more attention. If you like your prog metal and you come across a copy of this album, I think you should pick it up. I think it's absolutely great. Kind of like similar, related, but maybe a bit more power metal. US power metal, Lethal Programmed. I will say it is slightly progressively oriented. This is a great gem of an album. Some great guitar figures, great compositions. The vocals are absolutely amazing, really soaring vocals. He can hit some high notes, and we're not talking falsetto, just high notes within his register before he hits the falsetto, I think. Very powerful. Some great songs from the opening track Fire in Your Skin to Killing Machine. They're all equally great. A fantastic album. If you like your US power metal, if you like your prog power metal as well, check this out. Do yourself a favor. It's absolutely great. So these were just some CDs I listened to in the first half of March. Had a good time listening to all of them. Even the Hate Squad Psycho one, although that was the album that sort of I enjoyed the least. It still had a stretch of songs that were great. And if you like your 90s kind of industrial, 90s hardcore metal, maybe with some 90s alternative rock infusion, if you like that sort of music, I think you will actually enjoy Hate Squad's Psycho quite a lot. So that's why I wanted to highlight it anyways. But for now, thanks for watching.